Which of the following are needed to do release planning? Select 3. I usually like these kind of questions where we have to select more than one. And the question is also of a half-liner or one-liner. And don't think that these kind of questions will not appear in the PMP exam. If you are lucky enough, you may see many one-liner or half-liner questions as well. Yeah, but it's very difficult to predict, but it exists. Okay, so let's get into the question. Which of the following are needed to do a release planning? Release goal, resource calendar, estimated velocity, estimated product backlog, definition of ready. So you can pick up the way you want. You need to identify 2 which are not needed for release planning and 3 which are needed for release planning. So you just need to make 2 categories out of these 5, 3 needed, 2 not needed. Yeah. You may want to pause and check it out, these options further before I share my ideas. Okay, let's go one by one. So release goal is the starting point. You have to do a release planning. You need to know what is the goal of this particular release. So goals could be that we want to make our system compliant with newly published change by the regulators. That could be a release goal. The goal could be that we want to have a fundamental functionality out in the market so that people start using it. That could be a release goal. The release goal could be that we want to push our MVP in the market. So we are doing MVP release so that we can learn about it. So we need to have an understanding, what are we trying, what is the purpose of doing this release. And with goal, we will figure it out what goes inside it, because the inside content can evolve as we are working on the release, but goal has to be there. So it's a good idea to have a release goal, unless we have some other options which makes us do something otherwise. So as of now, I mark it, yes, we need it. Resource calendar. Now, in general, the agile way of planning is not individual level planning. It is not about who is taking leave when, what is their loading for this whole duration, or which all people are allocated for this much time. That is not needed. So what is needed instead is estimated velocity. Now, indirectly, the estimated velocity may consider who all will participate in the upcoming iterations in order to achieve this release goal. So number of team members, the overall, your holiday calendars and all those things will get under, or say will get accounted for when you estimate a velocity. Or if you have a historical velocity, you pick it from your past performances, and then you may do some adjustment based on what you see in the future, and then you estimate a given velocity. So rather than resource calendar, which is our predictive way of doing, where we know who is available when, the agile release planning is done by using estimated velocity. So we mark the option B no, and we pick up the option C as yes. So we have a 2, and now we are left with 2. Estimated product backlog, you need it. A fair amount of a product backlog, at least the one which is getting related to the release goal, the items which are linked with the release goals, those need to be estimated, because in the absence of that, how do I identify a timeline, a possible timeline, possible release date, if we don't have an estimated product backlog. Now, the 100% of the product backlog may not be estimated at that point in time as well, because you need to focus on the part of the one which is candidate for upcoming releases. But fair amount of product backlog estimation can be a good input for our release planning activity. It's a good thing, until unless we have a better option in B. Definition of ready seems to be just outlier. You may get tempted to pick it, seeing, oh, this seems to be an agile term, let's pick it. May not be needed. Definition of ready is more about facilitating the refinement of a product backlog over a period of time, and it's more like an agreement for the refinement purpose, but it has not much to contribute when we are doing the release planning. So release goal, estimated velocity, estimated product backlog seems to be the good option for doing release planning.